YouTube, what's going on? Welcome back. Welcome back. Another episode of D's Corner. We got a one round mock draft. No trades this week. Actually, I'm gonna try to pump out thinking three or four within the next 2 weeks because we're almost here. We are almost at the draft. We're 2 weeks away, a little under 2 weeks away. Like 12 days or something like that. There was a lot of movement still that could take place. The Colts are entertaining trading Kenny Moore, Dexter Lawrence of the Giants, Sexy Dexy. He requested a trade. There are some teams that I think actually could and should move up or make those moves as far as specific players. Maybe I'll look into that within the next mock draft or so. But without further ado, let's head to Pittsburgh, and we are going to start our one round NFL mock draft. We're going to be out here at Steel City, and we're going to go ahead and start it away. We know where it's going. Number one, Fernando Mendoza. There's enough said about this guy. He's the quarterback of the future for the Las Vegas Raiders, who just signed Kirk Cousins. He knows he's coming in to be strictly the mentor for Fernando Mendoza. At the worst, Mendoza should learn how to get paid. At two, we have New York Jets taking David Bailey, the edge out of Texas Tech. He's more of the polished, ready right now edge rusher. Maybe not that well against the run, but he's a great pass rusher. He's got long arms. He's a hell of an athlete as well. Quick to get his hands up and knock balls down, so he impacts the pass not just by getting to the quarterback, but actually disrupting the pass. I'm not sure if y'all can see the fourth pick, but we have Jeremiah Love, the running back out of Notre Dame, going to the Tennessee Titans. Give Cam Ward as much help as possible. You've already thrown a lot of draft capital at this offensive line. You still have Calvin Ridley. You brought in Wan'Dale Robinson. Cam Ward needs weapons. His best asset would be being able to turn around and hand the ball off to a dynamic player like Jeremiah Love, who can also play in the slot. A lot of people think he can even play wide receiver. Pick number 5, the Giants are going to set a tone. They're going to build in the trenches. They already have a really good defense where they've added more players to on that side of the ball. They need to build up this offense. You want to protect Jackson Dart, Malik Neighbors, and Cam Scatterboard, both coming off of injuries. Don't know what you're going to have on that right side, just being honest. Francis Manoa can come in. He can play guard or he can play tackle, but this is a trench setting pick. We are going to run the football. We're going to be a physical team on both sides of the football. And let's be honest, the NFC East is wide open with all of the noise coming from Philadelphia. At pick number 6, I have the Cleveland Browns going wide receiver Carnell Tate. I just think whoever their quarterback is going to be in the future, not Deshaun Watson, maybe not even Shedeur Sanders. I don't think it's going to be Dillon Gabriel either. But you're going to want to have whoever that guy is surrounded by as much talent as possible. Carnell Tate didn't drop a ball last year. His catches went from like 30% to like 80% or something like that. Everyone talks about his deep speed. I think around 4.5 40, but so did Devontae Adams, who's been able to be a hell of a wide receiver in the NFL. I can see some similarities if this kid gets in and he's running routes, actually developing like a lot of the Ohio State wide receivers do. He's a lot more pro-ready than people want to give credit. At pick number 7, I have another Ohio State Buckeye, linebacker Sonny Styles, who, in my opinion, I believe next Thursday, he should be off of the board by the 7th pick. I understand what his position is and how valued that position is, a lot like Caleb Downs, but Sonny Styles is 6'5", 245 pounds. He ran a 4.4. He can come off the edge. He can cover like a safety, which he was. He hits like a linebacker. He can disrupt so many things on your football team. The Washington Commanders strike gold bringing in Sonny Styles. Even if they decide to bring back Bobby Wagner, this is a perfect player to be mentored by one of the greatest linebackers that's played. Pick number 8, I have a surprise here. Jahmad McCoy. If you watched his pro day, he lit it up. And if he is healthy, go back to his 2024 tape, one of the best corners, period. Him and Mansour Delane are very are neck and neck, especially after his pro day. A lot of people still will question his toughness about the business decision. They said he was healthy earlier in the season and could have played, but he chose not to. He didn't go to any of the Senior Bowls, or he didn't even participate at the Combine. He wanted to make sure that he was good because he was betting on himself, and he lit it up at his Combine. At his pro day. At pick number 9, the Chiefs could go some of everywhere, but with Spencer Fano on the board, you're going to find a place for him to play on that offensive line. He can play center, he can play guard, he can play either tackle position. I understand the short arms. Josh Simmons last year from Ohio State, they still have they got rid of Jawan Taylor Moore's the last name, came over from San Francisco last year, who can possibly play on the right. I would be surprised if they went offensive line here because that defense needs so much retooling. But Spencer Fano, a lot of people think this is the best offensive lineman. This is a good pick here with the way the board fell for me. At pick number 10, I have the Cincinnati Bengals also taking a curve and not addressing their secondary. They're going to go on their trenches in that defensive front. You lost Trey Hendricks. You're bringing in Ruben Bain. You compare him with last year's first-round pick, Shamar Stewart, and hopefully get this defense being able to get after the quarterback. The Bengals are the only team in the AFC North who are bringing back their football coach from last year. So they should be able to actually blend quicker than these other teams, or you would think. I know the mentor, he's been in Baltimore, so we'll see how that goes. But Ruben Bain would be a nice pick here at 10 for the Bengals. At pick 11, I have the Miami Dolphins selecting Mansour Delane, the corner out of LSU. Sticky man cover corner. If you watch his tape, he is in man coverage a ton. Didn't give up, I think, maybe 2 touchdowns this past season. The Dolphins are in complete rebuild. They are at a position where who's the best player? Let's take the best player available. I think they have like 4 or 5 third-round picks this year. 3 or 4 maybe. But anyways, they have the potential, but it's not going to be this year. It's not going to be this year with the cap space and all that, but they're going to have to build this team through the draft. Pick number 12, I have the Dallas Cowboys selecting Caleb Downs, safety out of Ohio State. I don't want this to happen just because I don't like the Cowboys like that. I think Jerry Jones pisses a lot of things away with his arrogance, but Caleb Downs would be the prominent pro. He would be lights out for the Dallas Cowboys. This is what this team needs: a signal caller on their side of the ball, on that defensive side of the ball, who can get everybody lined up. He can make plays on the football. He can blitz. He can tackle. He is going to be a damn good pro. The one thing that I think we need to pump the brakes on, like every single year when we're talking about the Dallas Cowboys, everyone says they put a marginal defense on the field. They have a rookie defensive coordinator. We don't know how this guy is going to call defenses. We don't know how well of a leader he is for this defense. Yes, the Cowboys do have a dominant offense. They've had struggling defenses, whether it was from scheme or players. So you're still kind of gutting out the player aspect of it. Now you're also going into another scheme. But Caleb Downs should be able to be a plug-and-play day one starter as a rookie. At 13, I have the LA Rams selected Mekhi Lemon, wide receiver out of LSU. You don't know how much longer Devontae has. You honestly don't know how much longer Puka has. And with him, I think he went into a treatment facility. Some of the off-the-field issues are catching up with Puka. Mekhi Lemon, you want Matthew Stafford to have as many weapons as possible, especially if this is his last year or two. You want to be able to truly make a run. You've made crazy trades, and you went out and got Trent McDuffie. You retooled this defense, especially in that back end. Mekhi Lemon is a perfect pick here for the Rams. At 14, I have the Ravens going Vega Ione, the guard out of Penn State. they're going to have to beef up their trenches. You got to protect Lamar. You got to be able to run the football. They need a wide receiver. They lost two of their tight ends. There's a lot going on in Baltimore that they have need wise. We'll see how this goes, but I like a Vega for the Ravens. 15 with Tampa Bay. I want to spin here. Gave a little curveball with Jordan Tyson. A lot of people think he is the best wide receiver with his route running, his catching ability, his speed, everything, but he has injury problems. And those injuries could possibly slide him to the tail end of the first round or maybe early second round, where teams may feel a little bit more comfortable bringing him in because he's had ACL, PCL, MCL. He broke his collarbone. So, I mean, he's just had a lot of injuries throughout his years in college. But the Buccaneers did lose Mike Evans. You have Buka, who had a few injuries last year. Chris Godwin, who's dealt with injury since tearing his ACL. Do they want to put another injury-prone player in that position group? Jordan Tyson, you do get a lot of bang for your buck. A lot of GMs and scouts have criticized his body catching, but I think he'll be all right in the pros. 16, I have the Jets going Omar Cooper. You want to pair Garrett Wilson with somebody, give Geno another target to throw to. I still like A.D. Mitchell. I could see the Jets going Sadiq here, the tight end out of Oregon, and pairing him with Mason Taylor. I could see them staying defense throughout the first round, moving around. They have a ton of draft picks here. They don't necessarily have to pick for need. Go ahead and build a good roster. Some of these teams, the Jets, the Dolphins, the Browns, these teams that just build good rosters. The Cardinals build good rosters. At pick 17, I have the Detroit Lions selecting left tackle Monroe Freeland out of Georgia, pairing him with Penei Sewell. There's talks about putting Penei over on the left side, so they possibly could go defensive line here, pairing Aiden Hutchinson with one of these young edge defenders that could use help in the secondary. Brian Branch tore his Achilles late in the season. Don't even know if he'll play this year. But Freeland is a perfect pick. I could also see this pick being Caden Proctor. Saw his athleticism catching the ball. We know Dan Campbell likes those trick plays, but could have been more Ben Johnson. We'll see. At 18, I have the Minnesota Vikings selecting Dylan Thieneman, safety out of Oregon. I'm not trying to consistently put this guy here, but he just seems like a good fit for Brian Flores' defense. Not just because he's a white athletic safety replacing a white athletic safety. He's a damn good football player who is at a position of need. He has the talent. He has the speed. He has the football IQ, and he's able to make turnovers. He will be a solid player for years to come here in Minnesota. At pick 19, I have the Carolina Panthers surrounding Bryce Young with more weapons, giving them tight end Kenyon Sadiq out of Oregon, 4'3", 40, 245, 250 pounds, 6'4", 6'5". He's a big player, but I like that he gets after it in the blocking game and the run game. He is a good run blocker. Doesn't shy away from any contact, doesn't shy away from any issues. He is a good football player, and the Carolina Panthers are continuing to build their roster with good football players. At pick number 20, I have the Cowboys selecting Avion Terrell, the corner out of Clemson. Again, doubling down on that secondary. You're getting Caleb Downs with the 12th pick. You come back at 20, you get you a corner. Get your secondary solid. Get your secondary going. You've already tried to do what you can, beefing up the trenches. You've made trades. You traded away Michael Parsons. You brought in Quentin Williams. You brought in Rashawn Gary. You got players there. You do have more draft capital. I could see the Cowboys also trading this pick to get even more draft capital, because there are a lot more holes, especially on this defense, than what meets the eye when it comes to the Cowboys. At pick 21, I have the Steelers selecting left tackle Caden Proctor out of Alabama. He had a good, fluid showing at his pro day. A lot of teams are enamored with him now. He could possibly go higher than this. There's talks that Cleveland could like him at 6. We'll see how that goes. But right now I have Caden Proctor going to the Steelers. Their left tackle, I believe, got injured. Broderick Jones is dealing with a knee injury, if I'm not mistaken. So you're going to need some type of insurance there. If Broderick Jones does come back, Caden could slide in and be a 6'7" guard until it's his time to take over on that blind side. Pick 22, I have the Chargers getting Akeem Mesidor, the edge out of Miami. They did bring back Khalil Mack, but you're going to need somebody for the future. There is some negativity, if you will, surrounded by Mesidor because of his age. Late in the first, I think this is a good position and good pick here for the Chargers. At pick 23, I have the Eagles selecting Blake Miller, the offensive tackle out of Clemson. Lane Johnson dealt with injuries last year. He's in the last year of his contract and could possibly retire. Blake Miller could step in a year or two, depending on how long Lane decides to stay, and cover down for Lane without wrinkle, without blemish. This is a solid pick here for the Eagles. At pick 24, I have the Browns selecting TJ Parker, the edge out of Clemson. He can play up and down that defensive line. We know the attention Myles Garrett is going to get, but we also know that they restructured his deal, pushing his instead of getting his pay, whatever his pay was at the beginning of the league year, they pushed it back to the beginning of the season. So we'll see if they trade. This pick here allows TJ to either pair with Myles or possibly replace him with the addition of whatever draft capital they get, the Browns get, if they do trade Myles. I feel like they should. I felt like they should have traded Joe Thomas. Until this team is able to get things going, give some of your players like Myles, give him an opportunity. Let the guy have a chance to go and have an immediate impact on a winning team. Allow him to truly show the world what he can do. At pick 25, I have the Bears selecting Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, the safety out of Toledo. Big safety. They lost Bayer and they lost the other safety from Penn State, Bristol, can't remember his name, but they need safety. They center retired. They went out and traded for Bradbury from the Patriots. McNeil-Warren will be a good pickup here. Safety out of Toledo, helping get this defense going. There were a little bit things here, a little bit of things there. I think they need pass rush as well. Could they come in and make a trade for a player like Myles Garrett or a player like Max Crosby? That would really help the Bears on their back end if they were able to get another elite edge rusher to pair with Montez Sweat when you have Austin Booker coming to you to actually have a nice rotation of pass rushers. The Buffalo Bills at 26 select C.J. Allen, linebacker out of UGA. They're but most of their linebackers, damn, I'm having so many brain farts today. They're had injury-prone linebackers that are gone. Dorian Williams is the only one on their team right now, if I'm not mistaken, who has some experience playing. C.J. Allen could come in and be a green dot, could pair well with Dorian. This team has got to get better on defense if they want to make splashes in the playoffs. Last year, honestly, was, in my opinion, the Bills' best shot at it. But with what they've done on defense this year in free agency, I really like the pickup of Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. I really like the pickup of Bradley Chubb. You're getting some pieces here, you're getting some pieces there, but you're getting attitude-style players. C.J. Allen is a good attitude-style player, sideline-to-sideline linebacker. Pick 27 out of the San Francisco 49ers selecting Caleb Longwood, offensive tackle out of Utah. Trent Williams is 36, 37 years old. You're going to have to replace him sooner rather than later. I don't believe that he's even I believe they're still trying to iron out some wrinkles on the contract dispute. Longwood could come in and play guard, or he could play tackle now or in the future when Trent decides to hang it up. At pick 28, I have the Houston Texans selecting Caleb Banks, the defensive tackle out of Florida. This is a good pickup here, but I could also see the Texans making that 28th pick available for the Giants, taking Dexter Lawrence. I think Caleb Banks is a good piece of clay to be molded by DeMeco Ryans and that defensive front when you have Danielle Hunter and you have Will Anderson. That defensive team, that defensive unit, I think they will be able to get as much out of this young kid as possible. And when he is on, he is a monster. Every team in the AFC South is not going to want to deal with the Houston Texans when it comes to what they're capable of throwing at you on that defensive side. Our last 4 picks, I have the Kansas City Chiefs at 29, selecting Peter Woods, the defensive tackle out of Clemson. You pair him with Chris Jones, you go ahead and have a succession plan. Woods is a very, very, very good player. He gets off the ball fast. He had a weird combine, or a weird pro day, but he is a damn good player. Picking him late in the first, it's like an early second, except you get the 5th-year option. I like to pick up a Woods. The Miami Dolphins, I gave them Denzel Boston here. There was a few different ways and places I felt like the Dolphins can go. Do they want to just build up the defense? Do they want to just build up the offense? They have a ton of picks in the later rounds. On day 2, they have a lot of picks and a lot of potential for picks next year. This is not a team for the 2026 season. They're going to be trying to build for the 2027, 2028 season. But Malik Willis does have to throw the ball to somebody after they traded Jalen Waddle away and cut Tyreek Hill. So Denzel Boston does give him a big body 50-50 ball catcher. It's not the greatest pick, but it is a good pick. The New England Patriots at 31, I have them selecting Max Ankler, the offensive tackle out of Arizona State. He could come in and learn behind Morgan Moses for a season and then take over at that right tackle. Then you would have your bookend tackles. Some people think Will Campbell's going to transition to guard because he has shorter arms. He played really well during the season. He got nicked up a little bit as the season went, and most rookies hit that wall. He will progress and grow out of that. At pick 32, I have the Seattle Seahawks, the Super Bowl champions, selecting Keldrick Faulk, the edge out of Auburn. This guy is a young, huge kid who is going to be able to make an impact on the Seattle defense because we know head coach Mike Macdonald is going to be able to utilize and scheme things up. When this defensive front got after it, Keldrick Faulk will slide right in and be a perfect fit, being able to get inside, being able to play outside. He can play the 3, he can play the 5, he can even play a wide 9 for as big and as long as he is. He can really make an impact on the football field. But guys, that's my 2026 1-round mock draft, no trades. I've been killing the trades lately. I am going to try to shoot to get 2 more out this week and 2 to 3 out before actual draft day. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe.